What is going on, everybody? We are back with the picks here on YouTube. So these are normally Patreon exclusive, but for the first of every month, I will be doing them on YouTube. So if you guys want these picks every week, if you also want to get in on the gambling action with me, do it with me on Patreon. The link right there below you in the description as well. All MVP level patrons get access to these picks every week, along with 4 quarterback film breakdowns per month. So definitely go check that out if you enjoy my content, if you like the picks and all that other stuff. Definitely worth the price of admission. Might be a little biased, but hey. All right, so the picks the last few weeks have been going really well. The last 2 weeks specifically have been awesome. We were 4-2 against the spread last week. Also, we were 2-1 picking underdogs. I always say if you could hover around 500 on the season picking underdogs, those are my favorite kind of bets, is betting the money lines on those upsets because the payouts are bigger. So far off to a great start. I would say better than most of the gambling products out there where they're charging $500 a month for their picks. So something I'm definitely proud of. We're going to keep this thing rolling here on YouTube. Again, hit that like button as well. So let's get into it with the Thursday night game. Now, I do have a film little review of this game coming up as well. Something about the Rams that has me worried. But I'm going to be picking the Seahawks in this game, 23-17. I just think the home field's going to be big here, but I also think that Seattle defensive line is going to eat against a Rams offensive line that has really struggled. Really like the spread in this game, actually. Seattle, I would have taken them at a 3-point spread, but they're just 1.5 here. I think that's one of the best bets of the week. And then we'll do our locks at the end of the video. But then Arizona at Cincinnati. I had this one estimated as a pick'em game. Was surprised to see Cincinnati as 3-point favorites in this game. It's, they're saying these teams are even. They're giving the home field to Cincinnati, but I don't know how much the home field's really going to matter for the Bengals in this game. I think the Cardinals have a lot more to play for. They've got their quarterback of the future. Cincinnati right now is just really reeling. That offensive line is just miserable too. So I think Arizona with Chandler Jones and Terrell Suggs, who's actually playing pretty well, going to be able to kind of replicate what the Steelers were able to do against Cincinnati, and I don't see Cincinnati moving the ball very well at all. So I'm going to take the Cardinals in an upset in this game. Next, we've got Atlanta at Houston, 2 of the hardest teams to evaluate this year. Both look very different on a week-to-week basis. Really hard game to pick. I will take Houston at home. I do like that they are going to, for once this season, actually have a physical advantage to actually punch Atlanta in the mouth, because Atlanta is probably the worst team in the NFL in terms of being physical. So I do think at home that's going to play in Houston's favor. I could see this being a pretty high-scoring shootout game. Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins, Matt Ryan, Deshaun Watson just kind of going punch for punch. But ultimately, I'll take the Texans in a no bet. And again, the green is bet the spread, kind of more high confidence picks. The yellow is like, maybe throw them in a parlay, but not, a huge confidence. And then no bet is like, I don't know. I have a hard time with this game. So Baltimore at Pittsburgh. I think Baltimore's a bounce back week here. Pittsburgh did look pretty good last week, but against a terrible Bengals team. I don't think Mason Rudolph is very good. He's right there with the worst quarterback starting this week, and I think Baltimore, Lamar's been fine. I think the defense is going to contain a lot of the stuff that Pittsburgh got away with last week against the Bengals with the screen games. Should be able to get after Rudolph a little better as well. So I will take Baltimore. They are favored in this game, 25-20. I think they can cover that 3.5-point spread. Chicago at Oakland here. This one's in the UK, actually. I originally just on paper, this matchup, Chicago, I just think is going to dominate Oakland at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. But there's something about the UK factor. It kind of neutralizes a lot of just different factors. There's a lot of variance that you can get when trying to predict these UK games. So I do tend to try to stay away from them. I think Chicago will win. It's just hard for me to picture Oakland winning. But Oakland, as a team that's been kind of a hype team this year, I could see kind of getting out for this game. And they'd be, 3-2 if they won? So I don't know. You also have Trent Brown against Khalil Mack, which is a decent matchup for them. So I mean, you're never going to win the matchup against Khalil Mack, but if you're going to do it, you might as well have a guy that's not going to get bull rushed by him, which is Khalil Mack's strength. So anyway, I will take the Bears to win this game. If the Raiders found a way to pull this one out, it wouldn't stun me. I definitely don't really like the Bears with a pretty bad offense to cover a 5.5 point spread. I think if they win, it'll be close and scrappy, just like all of their wins. Jacksonville at Carolina, another upset pick here. I'm going to take the Jaguars. I do prefer Gardner Minshew to Kyle Allen, who just kind of existed last week, didn't do a whole lot. Minshew continues to kind of roll. I think the defense nod goes to Jacksonville. And with how DJ Chark and these guys are playing, I think they've got the playmakers to put up some points here against Carolina. Just enough, not like anything crazy. And I actually thought about the under in this game, but it's 38.5 according to the Desert. So I'll go with Jacksonville in the upset here. Close game, not a huge confidence upset pick, but I definitely think Jacksonville can handle this one on the road. Minnesota at the New York Giants. I was excited to have this be one of my flag games of the week. The Giants, huge buzz right now coming off of back-to-back wins against miserable opponents. You've got Daniel Jones sparking some life into that team. So I think a lot of people looking to bet on the Giants. And then the Vikings just got embarrassed in Chicago, and what I said in last week's picks video was a particularly miserable matchup for the Vikings. But Vegas not budging here. They still have Minnesota as a 6-point favorite in this game. I think that's about right. I think they are going to win. I think Minnesota, they really are dominant against teams like the Giants who don't have a pass rush. You look at what they've done against Atlanta and Oakland compared to what they did against the Packers and the Bears. It's night and day. The Giants just aren't going to be able to maximize on Minnesota's really only weakness, and that is their offensive line. So I think Minnesota's going to bounce back this week, and I think Daniel Jones is going to kind of struggle. He might be able to make a few plays here, but I don't see the Giants having the firepower to beat the Vikings. New England at Washington. I mean, New England's just continuing their D1 AA schedule here this season against Washington. They're 16-point favorites, and I think they cover 34-6. Edelman, hopefully a week healthier, was definitely not 100% last week. Washington does not have the secondary to do what Buffalo did to these New England receivers last week. So I think Tom Brady's going to have all day to sit back there in the pocket, just kind of pick this defense apart, and then this Patriots defense is just going to take a dump on Washington, whoever's starting at quarterback. So normally I stay away from these big spreads, but I think New England's going to cover this one. It's a short road trip as well. Buffalo at Tennessee. Weird game. I'm going to take Tennessee on a no-bet pick here. Tennessee's a really hard team to bet this season. You don't know what you're getting from Mariota. They do get Taylor Lewan back this week. That will help. Definitely some momentum coming home from Atlanta. A big win. Buffalo, we don't even know if Josh Allen's going to play for sure. I think he will. But Tennessee's got a pretty good defense. This will be a low-scoring game. Could really go either way. Going to come down to probably a turnover here, a missed field goal there. But I'll take Tennessee in a no-bet pick. The Jets at the Eagles. Now, this one is completely contingent on whether or not Sam Darnold plays. As of this recording, I don't believe that has been determined. Right now, I'll take the Eagles no matter who plays at quarterback for the Jets. But a 13.5-point spread. Now, that it signals to me that Vegas does not think Sam Darnold's going to play. And if that's the case, I am going to have to say don't bet the spread on the Jets. But if Darnold is in there, I think they can cover almost 14 points here. I just think a Sam Darnold-led Jets team is better than that. Like that's saying that this is in a tier with like Miami and the Redskins right now. I don't think that's necessarily true as long as Sam Darnold is out there. So we'll keep an eye on that. I think the Eagles win with Sam Darnold. I'm going to say that the Jets cover. Tampa Bay at New Orleans. We've got our third upset pick of the week here. Tampa Bay at New Orleans. Now, I have bet against New Orleans. Actually, that's not true. I picked them to beat the Saints in a big upset, one of my better upset calls of the week. We did bet against them last week. They've won some kind of scrappy games. They've found ways to win. That is impressive, and their defense has been incredible, but that is a difficult method to continue with the backup quarterback in there. That offense is not good with Teddy Bridgewater. And now Tampa Bay coming to town. They're red hot right now after coming off a win against the Rams. I actually think that they are going to win this division game. Tampa Bay, I think, sees this as a great opportunity to make up some ground before Drew Brees comes back. and I think they're going to capitalize on that. This is one of my favorite bets of the week. I think Tampa Bay is going to not just cover this, but win this game, and I also like the under in this game. I just think New Orleans has a very good defense right now. The D-line is incredible. They're going to be able to keep that score down. Like I said, New Orleans' offense just is not very good right now. It's basically just Alvin Kamara and a little bit of Michael Thomas here and there. So I think the under and Tampa Bay winning a pretty low-scoring game here. All right, Denver at the LA Chargers. No strong opinions on this game. The Chargers, a tough team to predict right now. They're in survival mode, but Denver is terrible, so I'll take the Chargers 20-17. Green Bay at Dallas. These are always great games. They're always pretty close. Usually come down to the fourth quarter. Now, I do have some serious worries about Green Bay without Davante Adams. I think they, as of this week, have the worst group of playmakers in the NFL. Without Davante Adams out there. As for Dallas, Tyron Smith is out, which is really going to hurt. I don't know who's going to start at left tackle there. Hopefully this is not a Chaz Green situation where the replacement's coming in and giving up 6 sacks. That would be a big problem for Dallas. And Preston Smith, Zadarius Smith, those guys can get after the quarterback. So it's going to be an interesting matchup with 2 big injuries that are going to play a factor in this game. I'm going to take Dallas at home in this one. I do think that Green Bay's offense is going to struggle, and they've really struggled against the run. I think Zeke, even though I've trashed him this week, could get some things going this week. So I'll take Dallas, but I don't have a lot of confidence in that. We've seen a short-handed Aaron Rodgers beat Dallas multiple times in recent memory. If it happened again, really would not surprise me. Indianapolis at Kansas City. Going to take the Chiefs here. 11 points is a lot for a disciplined Colts team that does tend to keep the score down. They don't want to get embarrassed here on Sunday night. They're a well-coached football team, but the Patrick Mahomes factor, this offense at home, it's going to be electric if they covered. Would not surprise me. Not going to bet on the cover, but certainly not going to be picking the Colts to win this game. Cleveland at San Francisco. Got another upset pick this week. So 4 upset picks this week. We had the upset on the Browns last week on the road, and we're going to keep that thing rolling this week. There's a couple things going on here. I think Myles Garrett on a backup left tackle is going to be really hard for San Francisco to get over. San Francisco also, they want to run the ball, hit you with deep shots with play action. I think that you're going to get Denzel Ward and Greedy Williams back this week. It sounds like going to be able to contain Goodwin, some of these receivers. You've got the rookie there, what's his name, Debo, playing pretty well. Pettis had a good week last week, but I think Cleveland with that secondary should be able to match that a little bit. George Kittle's really going to be the X factor for San Francisco if they're going to win this game. So I'm going to take Cleveland in the upset here, 26-23 on Monday Night Football. And then to wrap this all up, we've got my locks of the week, if you will, my favorite bets of the week. First off, the Thursday night game, the Rams at the Seahawks. I like the Seahawks a lot in this game. Again, keep your eye open. In a couple hours, I will have a little film breakdown of the Rams. Some big concerns I have for that team, despite the fact that they're 3-1. I think the Seahawks at home in this game, primetime, are going to get the win and cover, or just the money line's not a bad bet either because it's a 1.5 point spread. Next game, Tampa Bay at New Orleans. Like I said, one of my favorite bets of the week, and certainly going to be having the under in this game. Tampa Bay as a money line underdog. I think that it could be just a gut feeling on this one, but I really like that bet. And then Cleveland at San Francisco Monday night. I'll be at the Twins playoff game, but I'll definitely be having money on Cleveland in that game, despite the fact that I like San Francisco a lot. I just think that this is going to be Cleveland's week. So that is the picks video of the week. Again, guys, if you want to get these on a weekly basis, head over to my Patreon. You can also get basically weekly film breakdowns as well, going through the NFL quarterbacks and really having a good conversation there as well. So go check that out. Please hit the like button if you enjoy, and most importantly, just enjoy watching these games this weekend, and good luck. Peace out.